Yes. Woo. Top of the day, top of the day, top of the morning. Ooh, it's a little rainy today, people. It's a little rainy today. Are you gonna be able to stay with me in the rain, people? Am I gonna be able to stay with you? Oh my goodness. Why rain? The rain is a test. It's a test, people. It's testing the diligence, it's testing the fortitude, it's testing the persistence. I can handle a little bit of rain. I ain't gonna melt. I ain't gonna melt, people. Whew. I tell you what. You hear it, people? Can you hear it? I got this microphone on. Good morning. Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Shh, keep your voices down. It's early. It's 5 o'clock. What are y'all doing up this early, waking people up? Y'all up? I'm out here walking through the neighborhood in the rain. I'm out here. I'm out here in the dark as the darkness, people. Let's head to the mountaintop, people. Let's head to the mountaintop this morning. Oh my goodness. Love being up. Love getting ready. Oh, this is a journey into sound. How are we doing this morning? People, all I ask you to do when you drop in, let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know what time it is. Let me know what time it is where you are, where you're checking in from. Little thumbs up, I appreciate it. The support is greatly appreciated. Whew. The walk is symbolic. The walk is symbolic of taking the first step on any journey. The walk is symbolic of understanding that every step brings you closer to your goal. The walk is symbolic of understanding the patience and the perseverance required to achieve your goals, to reach your destinations, to work and stride and grow, even in the darkness, where you may not see exactly what trials are ahead of you, but you know that there is a destination ahead. You know there is much to achieve. Good morning. Welcome to the hilltop, people. Welcome to the hilltop. Look at that, good morning. It's a little breezy, a little cloudy, a little rainy, but it is still a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. A great opportunity to be up, to be alive. And today, we're out here and we're working and we're growing and we're heading into leadership, people. We're heading into our goal, our cause, understanding of our development, our growth, and our purpose. Are you here for a purpose, people? Are you here for a reason? Do you have a goal? Do you have a calling? Do I know how to work this light so it'll stay on? Are you prepared this morning to be prepared, to get prepared, to live with purpose, to understand? Are you here for the journey? Thank you for being here. Please drop in below what time it is where you are, where you're checking in from. It is 5:10 in the morning here. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Another day that we've been blessed with, people. We need to come into the day understanding our blessings, understanding the gifts, the gift of life that we've been blessed with. We need to proceed with gratitude, understanding. And we need to understand. We need to know. We need to be purposeful in our walk, people. Hello, good morning. And we need to know what we're talking about today is the ability to listen. It's a skill I've worked on. It's a skill I'm working on. It is a competency, as they say, that requires intention. In order to be able to listen, you have to be able to stop. It requires patience. Oftentimes we listen or we converse, and in a conversation, it doesn't require for us to truly listen, because listening requires us to be able to mentally process what's going on. Give me just a moment. Listening requires for us to take information and use it, not just to have it, not just to be able to respond to what someone is saying, but also just to help it shape direction. As leaders, we listen not to respond, not to take offense, and not always to give instruction. We listen to understand. But if we're always shaping a response, if we're always in the midst of looking for a rebuttal, we can't truly listen. You ever been angry with someone and then been in a text message? You know the worst type of argument to be in is a text message argument. Have you ever been in one of those? So, early on, me and my wife have been together for many years now. This is year 15. And so, for our marriage, we were, this is 2011, this is year 14. So, in our marriage, or early on when we were courting, you know, we got cell phones, and some of you may be able to remember 11 years ago, you had iPhones, but you still had a fair degree of flip phones based on who your cellular provider was. And so that's where a lot of the that was where a lot of your text messages short form came from, your WID, your BRB, like that's where that came from. So, but at any rate, we're early on in our relationship, and you know, I'm courting, I'm chasing her. She acting like she running, you know, acting like she's not getting my text messages, so I text, and she'd take her time texting back. So early on in our relationship, we kind of went back and forth, playing on with text messages. So this is before you had we didn't have iPhones anyway, but this is before you had a little read receipt at the bottom where it would say, oh, they received it. I tell you what, now that you do have it, if somebody turns their read receipt off on me, I'd be like, that's like if you send somebody a message and it says read, and then the next message you send them, it doesn't say read up under the bottom. It's like, did you turn your read receipts off on me? At any rate, so early on, something silly happened. And I sent my wife a text message. She wasn't my wife at the time, but I sent her a text message. She sends me a response. And sending me the response, she took a couple of minutes before she responded. For me, it felt like an eternity, because I'm chasing. I was on her, right? So I sent her a text message. She takes her little time responding. So before she could respond, I text her again. And I'm like, man, why ain't you say nothing yet? And I keep sending her these text messages. So I get about 3 texts in, and her first text finally shows up. Well, at this point, I'm on fire, right? So I don't see her first text, which was a response to my first text. So now she responds to my second and third text, which weren't that, polite. And so now we in a full-blown argument. We just all out well, you ain't gotta say, well, you ain't gotta call, don't have to answer the phone. So it's just all just back and forth, just childish, a childish argument in text message. So when I get finished, I don't know, maybe it doesn't take long, man. Have you been in a text argument for 7 minutes? You know how many texts you can send? And at this point, I tell you what, we did have the smartphones, but I can't remember who made it, but we got it from Sprint. It was this little Android phone. It was thin. It had a touch screen, but they had come out with Swipe, where you could swipe the text. And I was using Swipe like a master, right? So I was master swiper. So you're 7 to 8 minutes into texting, man. I done sent 63 texts, maybe. Good morning, how are you doing this morning? And so I send all of these texts, and then I'm like, I go back to take a look. I get back to the top, I see her first response. Had I listened, had I been patient, had I waited, was the response I wanted to hear. So we go back, we take a look at it, both of us, when we read back over the text. There are many times where we missed what the other person said in response, where we would say something and the other person would respond, and it would be a response that would be appropriate, or a response that could change the direction. Who's this? Oasis? Good morning. All caps. All right. And so, and then Justice, how are you doing? Good morning, everyone. Welcome in, guys. So at any rate, the whole point of the story was I am on there just absolutely losing my mind in a argument over text message, which is horrible. Do not argue with somebody over a text message. Do not have a disagreement in a text message, because I can guarantee you from experience, nobody, 94% of the messages are not being read. They are not being read. And then when you really get tired and realize that they're not reading your messages, and you stop and you start reading their messages, you're having an argument with the past. Oh man, it's so at any rate, why is this important? Because we can't make appropriate decisions. We can't be appropriately communicate. We cannot understand how to engage and grow and develop appropriately, guys, if we do not have the ability to listen. But I'm not just talking about listening to your spouse. I'm not just talking about listening to your boss. I'm talking about listening to yourself, listening to your heart, to your prayers, being able to listen to God. You have to be able to be still, and you have to stop talking. You have to stop thinking. You have to stop preparing a rebuttal to everything you're hearing, and you have to listen. So What's the difference between listening and hearing? Well, in order for you to listen, one, it's going to take you caring about what the person's saying. So let's be honest. When you're in an argument, you don't care what the other person has to say because you're heated, you're vexed, you're not in an appropriate state of mind to care. When you don't care, when you don't show care, then the other person can't communicate with you because they don't care at this point, right? They don't care what you have to say because you are not showing the same level of care for them in regards to listening and processing what's being said. The next thing that has to happen when you're listening is you have to be patient. You have to not only hear, but you need to understand the words, right? What is the purpose of the communication? Are we communicating because we're trying to achieve something? Or are we just communicating for the sake of communicating, right? Why are we even talking? Listening is important. So, what is this telling us, right? What's the whole point of this conversation? If you're not listening to sound advice, if you're not listening to good feedback, if you're not listening to your body, if you're not listening to good counsel, if you're not listening to your spirit, if you're not listening, and I mean truly listening and taking in the knowledge and the guidance and the feedback that's designed to help you achieve your purpose, then you are slowing yourself down. You're fighting against your own cause. There is a reason. There's a reason why we are successful in life. There's a reason why we grow, we see growth, we understand development, and there's a reason why certain groups of us see growth at a higher rate, faster, and to a greater degree, because we listen. Sometimes you just have to stop, and you don't even have to agree with what someone is saying. But if you fail to even take it in, how do you know? If you fail to even allow for it to enter into your realm, how do you know? Listening only requires for you to wait. It only requires patience. It only requires for you to take a moment. Listening is not the same as adopting. It's not the same as believing. It only takes a second to listen. It only takes as long as that thing is being said. But listening provides trust. It builds bonds. It lets people know that they matter, right? And here's the great thing about listening, is when you listen, you don't really have to say anything in response. All you have to do is let the person know, I'm listening. Come on, what is happening? I'm listening. I hear what you're saying, and I'm processing it. Can I have some time to get back to you? Can I have a moment to consider what you've said? Because it lets them know that it's important. Man, the I need it now response. If something is of true value, if something has true worth, we need to learn to wait, guys. We need to learn to wait for it. We need to learn that the process of developing, understanding, and achieving things requires for us to take a beat, to slow down. Everything is not immediate. 11:30 p.m. in Hawaii. Ryan, welcome in. How are you doing this morning, Ryan? Or how are you doing this evening? Thank you for stopping in, Ryan. We're talking about listening this morning. All of it applies to the same thing it always applies to, guys. It's discipline. If you're just stopping in, please, the same as Ryan did, if you do me a favor, drop down into the chat where you're checking in from, what time it is. Love to hear from you guys this morning. It is 5:26 a.m. here on the East Coast. Sun's coming up. It's great to have you here. What's up, CJ? Welcome in, CJ. Thank you for being here this morning. Guys, it's a great morning. We had a little rain here overnight. Man, rain, sunshine, they're also cleansing. They get you prepared. They should mentally prepare you to be ready for taking on the next day. Remember, wherever you're checking in from, guys, wherever it is, whatever time of day it is, remember we're here to motivate, encourage, to uplift, and move forward, understanding that we are all working towards a goal and towards a purpose. And along that path, we will need support. We will need to support each other. We need to understand that our strength that often wanes throughout the day, that often makes the evening difficult, things that we carry into our night that can make our mornings difficult. We need to understand that we can support each other. We could be there. We could offer the type of support that helps us to carry through. That's what this morning is about. That's what we're talking about this morning, is listening. Because if we offer every once in a while, that's also what needs from us. It's just to take a moment to listen, guys. Can we take a moment and just wait and listen to those who are out there, to those who need us, just to be able to hear them? This is something that's odd, and it's challenging, and it's difficult for many of us, especially men, for us men out there who value or who see ourselves as problem solvers. We see ourselves as the ones who figure things out, who fix things, who correct things, who make things better. And in order for us to be able to do that, in order for that to continue to be if that's how we see ourselves, in order for us to be real to ourselves, we have to do these things. We have to be fixing. We have to be repairing. We have to be building. And sometimes along this building path, all we have to do, people, is stop. Sometimes you need to gain, as we were talking about yesterday, sometimes you need to gain perspective. And oftentimes, perspective is just about being able to listen. It's just about understanding that someone has something to share, and it doesn't require an immediate response from you. It requires understanding. And it may be something that we don't understand in the moment. And so it's okay to take a beat. It's okay to let them know that you're going to need a moment in order to be able to give an appropriate response. It is okay. That is the strength, guys. That is the strength of being able to listen, right? I need to listen to getting my glasses clean. These things look like I rubbed mud on them. I'm surprised I have not walked out in the traffic this morning. These, ain't nobody say nothing. Y'all looking at me in these glasses? Ain't y'all tell me my glasses was, y'all probably did. I just couldn't see it in the chat. And get these babies home and clean them. Oh my goodness, it is not getting better. But hey guys, it's 5 o'clock. This is this 5 a.m. walk and talk. Welcome to the day, welcome to the morning. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for taking a moment out your day to be a part of this. Everything we do here is about growth, development. It's about understanding. It's about becoming stronger and building a community that helps others become stronger, to better understand. Guys, I want to appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you for coming in early in the morning, late in the afternoon, and in the middle of your day to participate. This is about growth. This is about the personal journey that I'm currently on. This is about trying to understand and realize how my actions, my development, my discipline impacts those around me. How I, in my decisions, have the ability to make changes within my whole little world. So, what am I going to do? What type of ripples am I going to make in the pond of my life, in the area in which I've been given charge? There's a scripture that says, a tree shall be known by the fruit that it bears. And we oftentimes look at others and we look at fruit. We see ourselves as fruit, and it allows for us to look back and say, well, look at my tree. Look at the branches. Look at the tree that I fell from. Look at the guidance or the lack of guidance. Look at the knowledge. Look at the things that I missed in my nourishment. Look at the things that were not provided to me. And it puts us into a place where we don't have to take on responsibility for who we are, for who we've become, the tree that we've grown into, because we still see ourselves as fruit. At some point, people, we become the tree. And when we become the tree, we become responsible for the deeds that we produce. Are you prepared to be the tree? Are you prepared to take on the responsibility of the fruit that you bear? Are you prepared to be grown, be real, be responsible? How many of us are still out here living as fruit and then expecting? Here's the thing, we live as fruit, but we expect great rewards to come to us and from us. When a fruit falls from the tree, its only value is consumption, right? When you pull a fruit from the vine, the only thing left to do with that fruit is to consume it in whatever way. Whether you squash it to make wine, whether you cook it, boil it, whatever you do, it's only good to be consumed. Whether you take it and put it in the earth and let it grow so that other fruit may come from it. When you have reached a mature fruit, it is now time for you to be consumed. This is why the scripture says, when I was a child, I did as a child, I walked as a child, I thought as a child, and then I became a man. And this is not just for men, this is for women. When we get to be grown, we can no longer walk, talk, think, or act as children. We can no longer say, I didn't make it to work because mommy didn't wake me up. I didn't pay my phone bill because mommy didn't let me know. Daddy didn't show me. It didn't matter if we were taught it. At some point, when we take root, when we fall to the ground, even as rotten fruit, even as neglected, mistreated fruit, when we fall to the ground, God provides for us a way to be able to be nourished and to grow. He has not left us out here alone. And so if we want to say that we have goals that we want to achieve, I want to be a tree, I want to reach the top of the canopy, I want to be able to see and to shape where I am, we have to grow. We can't get back on the vine. We can't crawl back into the tree from which we came. We can't get back up on the branch. We have to take root and grow. Why is this important, people? It's important because that gives us control. We have to stop believing. We have to stop looking for someone else to be what nurtures us. We have to stop looking for someone else or something else to be the catalyst for why we even look to achieve. We have to take root and we have to sprout up and we have to grow. And you have to come through the dirt. You have to understand you start in darkness. You start in darkness, but it is because you can see the light, because you can feel the pull of the energy of the sun. This is how things grow. They start in the soil and they sink down and they are consumed by the earth. They're consumed by the chemicals within the soil. They actually consume it, which allows for it to grow, which allows for you as a seed to grow. And then you feel the pull and you feel the presence of the energy of the sun and you grow towards it. At about the age of 14 to 18, blaming parents in. That's a good age to start learning to take on that accountability. Thank you very much, Bruce. Dennis. The votes equal what understanding of. So Dennis, if you're doing the poll and you're looking at the totals on the poll, you're just taking a look and seeing where we fall within the category of the things in the poll. And the poll is about listening and what part of our lives do we need to listen more. So I believe the poll has faith, family, fitness, and finances. And if you're still here, Dennis, let me know and I can give you a direct response on that. Thank you for being here, guys. Remember, when you drop in, if you could do me a favor, go ahead and put into the chat where you're dropping in from and what time it is there. Dennis, let me know if you're still in the chat and I can give you more of an answer on exactly how that part of or what you're really looking for in the survey. But thank you guys for being here this morning. This morning was about listening, as we do every morning at 5 a.m. I take this walk, I come out, I give you about 30 minutes, and then I head back to my family. I've been on for 42 minutes this morning. There is a process of setting up that takes a few minutes, but I do appreciate you guys for being here. I do appreciate you joining me for the walk. And as always, you guys, have a blessed and wonderful day. I'll see you next time.